The CDC just extended the eviction moratorium for renters, but the move is already facing a legal challenge from landlords and real estate groups that argue the administration doesn't have the legal authority to do it. It is all putting even more pressure on renters and landlords as they try to figure out what's ahead. Nakia Hodges appeared in court this week to fight eviction over an alleged lease violation.
My house situation is not good. Like, me and my son have been washing up with cold water for over a month now.
She says her landlord shut off her utilities and wants her out. The single mother lost her job during the pandemic and is among the estimated 6.9 million households behind on rent. She hopes the CDC's new moratorium on evictions, which extends until October 3rd, helps keep her in her home.
If I do get locked out, I really wouldn't have nowhere to go.
She applied for rental assistance, but so far has not received any, and she's far from alone. According to an NBC News investigation, of the billions of dollars provided by Congress for emergency rental assistance, as of mid-July, 26 states had distributed less than 10% of the money allocated to them. Landlords like Stacey Johnson-Cosby in Kansas City need the money too. Are you not getting that money?
Well, it's coming slowly. So there are some people, if you can find where to apply, how to apply, because the process is really cumbersome. And then once it is applied, it's a 4 to 6 week turnaround time to even find out if a caseworker has been assigned.
The CDC's moratorium is designed in part to allow for more time for that distribution. And the Biden administration is pushing for states to simplify their application process. I want to bring in Stacey Johnson-Cosby. You saw her just a moment ago. She's a landlord in Kansas City and a member of the National Housing Provider Coalition. Also with us, Julián Castro, former Secretary for Housing and Urban Development under President Obama. Stacey, I want to start with you. It is obvious, it's easy to see how evictions would hurt renters. But can you explain to us how landlords not getting paid month after month, how it can hurt you, how you can be foreclosed on? You're not a big corporation.
Right. And so what people miss in the whole story is that we are just like our tenants. Most housing providers work a full-time job, and they were impacted by the moratorium as well. And so when you have a situation where you have your retirement set with real estate, that is what we usually use as a retirement strategy. And then all of a sudden you expect your rental payments to make your mortgage payments and then to be able to maintain the property. And then government steps in and not only tells us we can't do that, but it demands that we give our product away for free. You do not see that with any other industry. So while they shut the economy down, the burden is on the back of the housing provider to house our fellow citizens free of charge. And that is not only not fair, it's not constitutional, and it is not sustainable.
Secretary Castro, to the point of sustainability, it seems like many lawmakers are saying we need to have heart, and they want to basically extend this thing indefinitely. But it doesn't solve anything. We can't offer free housing.
Well, I don't think it's about extending the moratorium indefinitely. It's been extended for 60 days, and there's a very compelling reason for this because we're not in the clear. The coronavirus is surging in so many places. We've seen the news about Florida. Last night on my cell phone, I got a public health alert saying that the risk of COVID spread is severe here in the San Antonio area where I and my family live. We see economic uncertainty out there. And I completely agree that it's not only about renters, it's also about landlords. You do have folks who own a single family home or a duplex or a fourplex. Maybe they're a mom and pop landlord. You also have some big corporations that own a lot of units, but you have individuals that may have a note, a mortgage on the property that they're renting out. That's why the FHA, the FHFA, and others took steps last year to provide for forbearance for those multifamily owners or folks that are renting a single family property or duplex or whatever it is. On top of that, these funds go directly into the pockets of landlords. The problem is, and I think this is where there is agreement, is that the states have been very, very slow to actually get the funds into the hands of those landlords and make them whole. That's where we need massive improvement, and that's what the Biden administration is focused on.
Will that solve it, Stacey? There's $46 billion allocated for rental assistance. Once it gets through, I mean, you got 26 states that haven't even given out 10% of their money yet.
So that's the problem. What government should have done is stayed out of the housing business. They should have focused on getting the rental assistance out into the marketplace. And there's not a problem that it goes into the hand of the landlords. Of course it should, because that is who the rent is due to. When a renter lives in the property, nothing is free. So of course it's going to go to the housing provider so that we can in turn turn around and make our mortgage payment and pay to maintain the property. The problem is that government, when they shut the economy down, should have immediately made funds available to us to cover the rent for those tenants that they wanted covered. It is not our responsibility to shelter them. And we need to make sure we know that the implications are long-term. Those tenants, when we extend the eviction moratorium, they need to realize that they're still on the hook for the money that is due. And if they can't pay $700 or $800 a month now, there's no way at the end of the moratorium they're going to be able to pay $8,000, $9,000, or $10,000. Government needs to focus and get all hands on deck today, figuring out how to more efficiently get the rental assistance out into the hands of those that need them. And if they would have, instead of spending so much energy on the moratorium and extending that, they need to do what they do best, which is getting that money out to us.
Secretary Castro, the argument is states need to simplify the process so the money can get out faster. But the risk is if you simplify the process, you can bring on a whole lot of fraud. How do you solve for that?
Well, look, they put safeguards in place against fraud and still tried to simplify the process. Oftentimes, for instance, you'll have a landlord and a tenant applying together and verifying together. So there's documentation of that. The challenge is, how do you do that and verify, but not make it so cumbersome that people either don't start the process in the first place or it takes too long, which is happening right now. The Biden administration has actually been working over these last few months with states to say, hey, this is how you can make the process smoother, quicker, make people more aware of it, and get money ultimately into the hands of renters and landlords that need it. But let me just say also, Stephanie, it would have been inconceivable for us not to have any kind of eviction moratorium. What you would have had would have been millions of people out on the street. Study after study has shown that there is a correlation between public health, the spread of the coronavirus, and people being out on the street. So that would have been worse for everybody, worse for those renters, worse for those landlords, ultimately, worse for our economy. I think that the last administration and this administration made the right move in extending the CDC's moratorium.